Hello, Pauper people, and welcome back to our weekly league videos. I stopped posting for the last few weeks because I couldn't find anything really interesting to post, and I was also preparing for the Magic Online qualifier that was held last weekend, meaning that I was mostly losing a lot. I could not meet anything than bad matchups, both in leagues and especially in the qualifier. uh, which was not totally representative of the actual meta of all the events, but for some reason the pairings were not on my side in this period. Anyhow, we are back to more fun builds, at least for me. So this week we are going to try a deck which is using all the lessons I learned in the last couple of weeks, plus some old ones, let's say. So the first thing I loved in this period was to use multiple Tinder walls and possibly wall of fruits together with Tuck Tuck to try to go as fast as possible and having a reasonably good early game plan with lot of blockers and lot of defenders. This was also inspired for the second place deck in the big Russian tournament that was held, I think, 1 or 2 weeks ago, which was it looked like a 2 years old deck that anyhow went well in the rounds. Another thing that I was coming to hate more and more again was Winding Way, meaning that even if it's an important card, trying to go fast, uh, it was good, I would say, half of the time, and I was losing way too many for me games due to pinning important cards. So once again, I'm trying at least without Winding Way. That freed a couple of slots. And the last decision that I made was to not run Ents and not run Must Vandal main, meaning that we want to go on our plan mostly, so not using slow or reactive cards main deck. I want at least 14 lands, and I had a couple of slots free. I wanted an additional graveyard recursion card, so I put Pulse of Murasa because we don't have anymore the life buffer granted by the ends. And then something to draw cards. I thought about many ones, and in the end, I wanted to just try an old friend of ours, which is Muldrifter, because it could fit well in several matchups and is a reasonable draw engine if we don't have way too much mana. The sideboard instead is more or less the same as I used in the qualifier, where we have 4 healers for Kuldotha, 3 vines mostly for Glee, along with Coalition Honor Guards, 3 Scattershot Archers for most of the Fey matchups, and 3 Hydroblast that are here typically only to try to counter or kill Krarkran Shaman. They could be used as additional slots against red decks which are more burn oriented. So that's it. Let's see how we are going to go in the league. Welcome to match one. We are against Sterling S, which I might have met in the past, but I don't reconnect immediately to any specific deck. We are on the play. Let's see our starting hand, possibly. The hand, it's playing many of the cards that we are using is a bit risky because we don't know our opponent. In half of the case, it will be a very good one. Against red, it will be not very good. I don't know what I did. Let's see if I mulligan, going more wise. No, we kept. So we hope not to be against red, and in that case, we hope they are not going to kill our Saruli immediately or draw lands. We have 14 lands also for that. And of course, we are against red, but they do not kill the Saruli, so we just develop defenders. They go Synth in Percussionist. Okay, we even draw the land, so we get a good amount of hits, which is reasonably common with this version because we play 38 creatures. They have another synth into Galblast, into Tomb Raider, which is okay. As usual, the plan against red is to just make them spend burn spells to kill our big walls while not taking too much damage in the meantime. Uh, if we can survive reasonably at a reasonable high life total until turn 4 or 5, we usually can win. Here we are going to block a couple of goblins, and we should win unless they have something weird. We also have, which is very nice to have, the Pulse of Murasa backup. So the only card they could have, and in some cases in the last few weeks I've seen that stops us, is Fire Blast, but we could anyhow rebuild after that. If not, we are just going to win game 1. They do not have it, so we are going to win without needing to show the Valakut Invoker. We are possibly digging with Drift to have more defenders. So drifting for lead the Stampede and just being a little faster killing them. We do find a couple of additional defenders, and from now on I just go fast. One zero. Game 2. We sided in as per basic plan just the 4 healers going up to 61 card that I like. We just removed the Muldrifter, which is way too cute against Kuldotha Red, and then one Drift as usual and one Tuck Tuck because we don't really need two against this matchup. We are on the draw. Let's see what we draw. Here we have a risky but reasonable hand on the draw. I hope I mulligan this. We do mulligan. We get another one which is really similar. Probably we are going to keep this one. So once again, we need to hope to draw a land, or they do not kill us. Sorry, kill our first defender, because it will allow to have a double wall next turn. It seems so. So we just play both Wall of Roots and Overgrown Battlement. This game seems to be started on the proper way. They have an early Bushwalker, which is really weird. We don't block because I don't know what they are doing. And they have Goblin Grenade. Goblin Grenade is unexpected, to say the least. Some in versions of Kuldotha with Goblin Grenade are usually very bad for us. So here now we are forced to stop blocking, even though Pulse of Murasa allowed to have back the battlement. Now we once again have a good amount of blockers. They are forced, well, not forced, but they use the block token. They have Kuldotha, and they have an additional goblin. So this is the third bushwalker we see this game. We are at 5. We need to find something fast, so we try to draw. We get a reasonable hand, but it's way too slow, so we are just deploying blockers. And considering how we are placed, this game is most likely lost, thanks to the funny, the funny fourth bushwalker. So you see how Kuldotha wins. Uh, Early aggression and multiple bushwalkers are often the key. They had the Goblin Grenade killing the battlement, which was not actually really relevant because we had the Pulse of Murasa, but still drawing so many bushwalkers allowed them to easily overcome our blockers. 1-1. So we just go for lead. We keep developing our board. We could even play the Galvanic Alchemist, but we do not necessarily in fear of Pyroblast, but mostly for synergy with possible Reaping the Graves. Here we have the kill, if they don't have anything. Let's see what it happens. They allow us infinite mana. Let's see if they have something to kill our Secret Door. It doesn't seem so. So I go faster through the Secret Door kill, which is basically only going through the first dungeon until we can find something to fetch uh, the Invoker, which we naturally draw reasonably fast. An opponent concedes. 1-0, and let's see how match 2 goes. Match 2 against Airplay, which is a nick I don't recognize. We are on the plane again. Let's see what we draw. We have a good hand, or good development, and reasonable also against Kuldotha, so we will keep it. Also, opponent keeps. Goes Saruli. They go Aquifer, meaning that they are most likely fairies. Here we have another cool interaction with Wall of Roses into uh, Overgrown Battlement, meaning we are going to have a huge amount of mana and threaten a possible turn 3 kill next turn, assuming that our walls survives. We even get the um, Freed. Here we bait a Shield Wall Sentinel. They do not kill anything, so we just go for Axebane to see if they have the counterspell. They do not bait. We have to protect our lead at all costs. So right now we are going to most likely play first another Axebane, then the Galvanic Alchemist that I assume will get it by count. They finally use it. We go for the lead, which is a miss. We find the Orochi, so we are still one card away, but we are not very close to victor anymore, especially considering that they have 7 cards in hand. We still don't know what they are playing, by the way. We get another useless Orochi at this point, so we keep picking them for one. Reducing a UB life total is usually important, and they play an unexpected Rain of Revelation. So I stop one moment for reflection here. This could be a version of UB Control, which is actually a good matchup for us. All UB versions have the same thing in common, which means they have a limited amount of removal and counterspell. And if they are Fey, they they have a slow clock, so we just need to be careful about spell starter. If they are terror, they are more scary because they have a significant clock. In any case, what we want to have, as always, is to try to automana them at first, and then outdraw them, and then use the graveyard to win. Uh, UB control versions usually have a lot of 1-for-1 removal, which is really not a problem for us to overcome, provided that we do draw something interesting. Anyhow, here we are going to play once again an Axebane. Actually, we wait. They kill one of our Axebanes. And they go Murmuring Misty. Okay. Okay, so here we are going to make our play. It all depends on how many counters they will have. Here we will try to go for the Freed. They will most likely kill our counter. They kill our Axebane. We untap. Now we need to hope that they do not counter our Shield Sentinel. If they don't, we will just go drift for reapings. They do not, luckily for us. We cannot try to win this turn, so we just maximize getting back 5 pop cards in our hands. Basically, all the creatures that were in our graveyard. So the first step has been achieved. I have a lot of mana. They have spent a bit of resources, and we have everything back, threatening the kill next turn. They have yet another brainstorm, so they will start pinging us in the air. Indeed, this seems to be some form of control variant. And not, actually. Okay, so we find another good card. So here we start baiting spells over spells just to try to see if they will counter something. They do have the second counter spell, as expected. This they do not have anything for our lead, meaning that they might be out of counters. So we keep developing our mana, and we might be trying to go for the Pulse of Murasa immediately to get back the Galvanic Alchemist. We have it. Let's see if they do not have an additional counterspell. So we win game one against what seems to be a fairy version in more or less a textbook manner. Two, on the draw, we just sided in the three uh, vines of Westwood and just two scattershot archers because we are not really sure about our opponent deck, even if most likely the third one will come in a possible game three. We took out just the three Tinderwolves, which is my, let's say, baseline uh, switch against fairy versions. We are on the draw. Let's see what we have. Our first hand is not really bad, but not really good either. Let's see what we did. Opponent Malignant, we kept, which is questionable, I will say. They have the Aquifer. We start with our Quinion Ranger. Hoping it to be killed, which actually happens. So we go with Overgrown, and they have also the counterspell. Now we will try to force lead, and they have yet another counter. So this might have been slightly forced, but and they even have the spell status spy. So this game is most likely gone at this point, even though they have no cards left. Let's see if they have ninjas. No ninja. Mystic. So they seem to be indeed the heavy on Mystic. So we have plenty of time, but we need to find something fast. Let's see. We, we will, of course, go for Axeman here. We keep drawing lands, which is bad and good at the same time. We might play Bull Drifter very soon if we find something like an Orochi that most likely is not going to be countered with just two life, with just two cards. They start doing their thing. We keep drawing colored cards. Of course, this is all coming from a not so good keep on our side. Possibly being bold about having won game one. We find the Orochi, they do not counter, so we can try to go for Moon Drifter. They do not counter. They have to kill the Moon Drifter, which is good for us. And now we have the Scattershot, hoping they do not have anything for it. So we start baiting other spells. Oh, we find the Vines, which is very good. but they do have the spell starter, so they played really well. And now we have just a couple of turns left. We are threatening, and they even have Lorien revealed. We are threatening the kill. The only thing is hoping they do not have a removal for our overgrown immediately. They do not try it, but we don't draw anything, so we cannot win. Okay, a bad keep against a perfect hand. It can happen. 1-1. Let's see what we do in game 3. Opponent played very well though, so we need to be cautious. Go up with the defender numbers and then just burn them. Now they have to find a solution very, very fast. This last play probably was again a small misplay, but I wanted to have more defenders, and they indeed concede in the end. So this was quite a good match. Opponent played very well with unexpected sideboard choices. I instead played reasonably bad uh, and was very lucky, but in the end we won. So we are happy and we go to match 3. Match 3 against Diaper Dandy, a name that I remember to have seen, but I cannot remember what they were on. We are on the draw. Mulligan the first hand because we have no lands. The second hand can be kept. Depending on the opponent, we can go very aggressive. We turn to Axebane or lead the Stampede. I think this is a keep, and we will put down the Balakot Invoker. They also mulligan to 6. They start with Springleaf Drum, which is really unexpected. I expect them to be on Glee, and therefore I go aggressively on the Axebane because Glee versions usually have no removal game 1. If they are on Gardens, we are going to lose anyhow, so it's not a problem. Seeing also normal forest in towards Glee, even though they have a very bad Malevolent Rumble. So now we just try to do something, let's say, uh, obscene if we can, meaning that we are very, very close to winning here. So we just go for it. We freed and we win. Okay, this was an easy game 1 on the back of the decision to go very aggressive on Axebane. Now the 2 difficult games we start. Game 2, we sided in the 2 flag bearers and the 3 vines of Lastwood. We removed the one Tuck Tuck, the Mool Drifter, one Shield Wall Sentinel, and a Drift of Phantasms. Basically, all relatively slow cards. We are on the draw. And we have here an interesting hand, which is very powerful if we draw a land for the second turn. Well, by the second turn, especially due to the flag bearer, but it's way too risky to keep. Unfortunately, I keep this hand because I'm stupidly thinking that anyhow I'm 1-0. So we go Forest Rochi, they rumble. We start missing land drops. We are sure now they are on Snuff Out and Just Glee. We miss another land drop and we concede like the morons we are. So now we have to win on the play game 3, which is doable, but this was incredibly stupid to do. See you to game 3. Game 3 on the play. Zero lander. And one land which is probably keepable but very, very slow. Here we might mulligan for a better one. I don't know what they did. I kept, but this hand is very slow, so I'm not super confident about it. Again, we need fast a second land, which in this case we find. So we can develop our board. We have duress. but luckily for us it doesn't do anything. So now we can play both Axebanes. So actually we were able to develop fast, even though we have no cards in it. They again make a double Malevolent Rumble, start digging. They have the Brute Scale, the Glee. So now, basically, they have a yet another deadly dispute. We are not dead this turn, but we are most likely going to die now. And indeed, this happens. So we lose the match in, let's say, the usual way, losing the sideboarded games, but not due to snuff out, only to not so good hands and a very silly decision about the keep in game 2. So we are 2-1 and we are now fighting to reach at least the 4-1 in this league. See you in match 4. Match 4 against Lexstar DD, again a name that I don't recognize. We are on the draw. Let's see what the shuffler gives us this time. This is a reasonable hand. I think I'm going to keep it. And the opponent is on Kuldotha. So here we will just start with Rogi to see if they can kill it. They don't. Here we just go battlement. We don't block, of course. Unfortunately, they find the artifact land. They kill with 2 balls our creatures and they attack for 6. We block 1 because we have the other watch in hand. We look for another battlement, but really now we are not so close to winning anymore. We are forced to block, and they have infinite bolts. They had 3 lightning bolts, 1 chain lightning, 1 bushwalker, and no bushwalker, sorry, galvanic blast. No, what's the bushwalker? So they kept a very strong hand on one end, and they were lucky enough to draw the artifact land, which turned on a lot of things, and they were able to kill us for exactly the same amount, for the exact amount of our life. Let's go to game 2. For the Mole Drifter, 1 drift and 1 tac tac. We are on the play. We have a reasonable hand, and we are going to most likely keep it on the strength of a Wall of Roots. We might even go out with Orochi just to draw some kind of removal. They keep as well. We do indeed play Orochi first. Let's see what they do. They clock Percussionist. We just trade. And they find a Reckless Abandon, which is unusual, but means they might be on more burn than we were expecting them to be. Here we will go Axebane and Healer of the Glade. The Axebane is not very likely to survive, but we have the Pulse. They even have Goblin Grenade. So this is really weird. They suck the Synthesizer to kill our Tinderwall. We use the mana to get the Axebane and go up to a very reasonable 29 life total. They once again have a lightning bolt, we start blocking. They have a galvanic blast and a bushwalker that we will block. So we take probably the first combat damage of this match, of this game. We really need fast and land. We don't block. We keep waiting because we want to maximize the things we do, and we wanted to use the reaping. So now they cannot attack profitably anymore, and here we can go to big walls. We are still at 22 life total. They have the bushwalker, we don't care too much about it. We just block one. They have yet another bolt, but we have multiple lives. And still a few blockers. Finally, they concede. The thing was not so easy for us. We were lucky they drew a lot of lands. But I don't know if it's just this version, but they were really having a lot of big bad balls. So I expect for the third game to bring in also some hydroblasts. Game 3, and indeed we brought a couple of hydroblasts in, removing a second tac and one Quirion Ranger. We didn't see end of the festivities, but they most likely have them, and Quirion is very weak in this match most of the time. We are on the draw. And we have a good hand, but only on one land. There is a pulse, so we might keep this, but it's really risky, especially considering the amount of burn we saw. Let's see what we did. We keep. They have the mandatory turn one attacker, and luckily we draw the land. They kill our Saruli, no big issue. We just go with the battlement. We attack with everything. Here we have possibility to gain some life and play some creatures that we do because we really have to maximize our life total. Have a huge amount of chain lightnings. We do find some blockers with the Stampede. Now they are without cards, so if they don't do anything, and it seems so, we might win next turn. I tried, okay, started again. So here we just block a couple of creatures and we will most likely win next turn. I didn't do the math, but we should have everything. So we play a couple of walls and then we drift for Freed, and then we will win through third path Savant. Okay, so the draw these times did pan out successfully for us. I will go fast. They concede once we play the Invoker. 3-1. Last match of the league against Francisco 23-195, which is a name I recognize, as in most cases I will put them or on Kuldotha or on MonoU, sorry, Faeries. I cannot remember which one. We are on the draw, so we'll see. Turn one, if we were right. I was complaining of not drawing more than one land, and then of course we get this. This is unkeepable, unfortunately. This is also very bad. We might keep it just hoping them to be on mono blue. Let's see what we did. We kept. They are also on 6 and they are on mono blue, so we could hopefully develop our mana very fast. Let's see if they have the ninja, or probably they do. Yes, is okay because it allows us to easily deploy the overgrown battlement. Here we will just go with Axbane, and then we go with an incredible lead stampede. This is basically a kill next turn if they don't have a significant amount of counters. So we start with Sarudi, Tinderwall. They keep not countering. So we try even the Axbane, and the Axbane get countered. Here we find another very good lead. So we start drawing cards like crazy, and we find the infinite mana. They indeed had the two counters, but it was not enough. So we are one up. We had in this case a very, very good draw and incredibly good leads the Stampede. Let's see what happens in game two. Concerning the sideboard, I think it worked. We didn't face, strangely, any artifact-based matchup, so I'm not sure about the strategy there. I also am not totally sure about the two flag bearers, but I will keep playing them for a little while. As always, thank you for watching and ciao. Game 3. This time we are on the play. Let's hope in better starting hands this time. Okay, and this is a not special hand, but we do have the scattershot on one. So it will all depends on them having a fast snap. So we go, and the mulligan to 5. So we have scattershot, they cannot do much. We find a very good Quirion. We try immediately for the lead, but then we decide not to because we were burned by their many counters, and as usual, they have it. So we did correctly bait it. Now we are most likely going for the lead, not yet. We don't want to attack due to the flash guy, so they play a ninja, which is good news for us. We try to play the X-Wing, and for once they do not have the counterspell. They cannot attack, so now we can try to do stuff. Go tack tack. Now we will just wait indeed. There is no need to go fast. For once I'm playing very safely. So we tried the pulse, it works. So now we will go first with Shield Wall Sentinel. It also comes through. We get a drift and then we wait once again. They have the snap, which is okay for us at this stage of the game. Now they will deploy a lot of fairies, but it will all depend on how many interaction they will be left with. Okay, so they have maximum 2 interaction spells. So here we start immediately with a scattershot that they are forced to counter, and then we will win. Again, this was a reasonably easy game. We were lucky to have the turn 1 scattershot and then mulligan. I will go fast to it. But yeah, they concede. So indeed we made it at least to 4-1. I will not put a dedicated after league session because for the moment I think the list worked reasonably well, and especially the wildcards that I was using, Pulse of Murasa and the Mold Drifter, were very good in this league. Concerning the sideboard, I think it worked. We didn't face, strangely, any artifact-based matchup, so I'm not sure about the strategy there. I also am not totally sure about the 2 flag bearers, but I will keep playing them for a little while. As always, thank you for watching and ciao!